Welcome to this new series, where we're diving straight into Iran's missile game, from the small short-range rockets to the big, scary long-range ballistic beasts. But before we start throwing around specs and missile names, let's talk about why Iran even went all in on missile tech to begin with. After the 1979 revolution, Iran got hit with some heavy-duty sanctions. And then boom, the Iran-Iraq War happened. 8 brutal years of blood, bombs, and no breathing room. Saddam's Iraq, backed by big powers, was launching airstrikes and missiles like crazy. Iranian cities were getting hammered by advanced weapons, and Iran barely had a working air force. With no allies to count on and blocked from buying weapons, Iran had one option: do it yourself. That's when the idea of building homemade missiles started. Not just as revenge, but as a strategy, a whole new defense mindset. In secret labs and hidden workshops, Iranian engineers got to work. Studying foreign missiles, reverse engineering them, testing, failing, and trying again, all so Iran would never be caught off guard again. That was the beginning of what some now call Iran's missile empire. And in this series, we're breaking it all down: how it started, how far it's come, and what it really means today. After the Iran-Iraq War, Iran came out with one clear lesson: it needed long-range firepower. In the early 90s, Iran started importing Scud B and Scud C missiles from countries like North Korea and Libya. These missiles were old by Western standards, but for Iran, they meant something critical: range and deterrence. But Iran didn't just buy, it started building. Iranian engineers reverse engineered the Scuds almost immediately. And that's how Shahab 1 was born, a near copy of the Scud B, with a range of about 300 kilometers. Not long after came Shahab 2, more accurate, slightly more powerful. But Iran wasn't just copying. It was learning, improving, and evolving. By the late 90s, Iran was producing Shahabs by the hundreds. These missiles became a symbol of self-reliance and a warning to enemies. We may be isolated, but we're not defenseless. The Shahab program was Iran's entry point into the world of homegrown missiles. And that was just the beginning. Behind every serious missile program, there's always one key figure calling the shots. For Iran, that figure was Hassan Tehrani Moghadam, known as the father of Iran's missile program. A quiet genius. A committed revolutionary. He believed missile power was the backbone of national defense. Back in the Iran-Iraq War, when Iranian cities were getting hit hard by Saddam's missiles, Moghadam saw the writing on the wall. Iran needed its own answer. He helped develop early artillery rockets, like the Zelzal series, and later, he was the driving force behind the Shahab program. But to him, it wasn't just about making missiles. It was about making Iran self-reliant. He pushed for everything to be local: engineers, designs, factories, all of it. His vision shaped Iran's entire missile doctrine. Even the creation of underground missile sites came from his ideas. Sadly, in 2011, he died in an explosion at a military base, while working on what many believe was a solid-fuel ICBM project. But his legacy? Still alive. Still powerful. Today, Iranian officials and media speak of him with deep respect. If Iran has a missile shield today, they say, it's because of Moghadam's dream.
Iran's supreme leader has attended the joint funerals of 17 soldiers killed in an explosion at a Revolutionary Guard's arms depot. Among the dead was the man officially described as the architect of Iran's missile program, General Hassan Moghadam.
By the early 2000s, Iran had a new message for the world. We can reach beyond our borders. And that message came through Shahab 3, a missile based on North Korea's Nodong, but with major upgrades. With a range of up to 1,300 kilometers, the Shahab 3 could hit any target in the Middle East, from Israel to US bases in the Gulf. But there was one problem: accuracy. So Iran stepped it up with the Ghadr missile, an upgraded Shahab 3, with better guidance systems and a range pushing close to 2,000 kilometers. But this wasn't just about building missiles. It was about sending a message. Strategic power. Regional influence. Serious capability. Then came the real game-changer, the Scuds missile, Iran's first medium-range ballistic missile using solid fuel. Why solid fuel? Because it means quicker launch, easier movement, and better readiness. And Iran made sure everyone saw it. These missiles weren't just test-fired, they were rolled out in military parades, showcased in underground bunkers, and broadcast on state TV. The message? Iran is not backing down. Not today. Not ever. As Iran's missile tech advanced, so did its goals. We're now seeing a new generation of missiles, faster, smarter, deadlier. Take the Hypersonic, the fortress breaker. This solid-fuel ballistic missile travels over 1,450 kilometers, and in its final phase, it can maneuver sharply, making it a nightmare for missile defense systems. Then there's Fattah, Iran's first hypersonic missile. It hits speeds between Mach 13 and 15, and can change course mid-flight. That means radar can't track it properly, and once it locks onto a target, it hits with insane precision. Another one? The Desful missile, an upgraded Fattah 110 with a 1,000 kilometers range, high payload, and pinpoint accuracy. And let's not forget the Resvan, launched from mobile platforms and guided by satellite. It can hit deep into enemy territory, right where it hurts. But here's what really makes this new generation dangerous. Modularity. Multi-platform launches. Resistance to electronic warfare. These aren't just missiles, they're part of a military doctrine. A doctrine that says, if Iran gets hit, it will strike back fast, hard, and with precision. In an era of drones and cyber warfare, one message is loud and clear. Ballistic power still matters, and Iran is not behind.
سماء غزة الآن. لكن لم تدوي حتى الآن صافرات الإنذار في القدس، صافرات إنذار في بئر السبع في أكثر من موقع. يا أبو على المطار أقسم بالله. يا أم مكترهن. يا أبو المطار. يا أبو المطار.
All this missile development would mean nothing without one thing: real-world results. And Iran delivered that in Operation True Promise 2, Wad al-Sadiq 2, a live-fire showcase of its ballistic capabilities. In response to US and Israeli-backed actions in the region, Iran launched a wave of precision-guided ballistic missiles at Israeli positions. And here's the jaw-dropper. These missiles didn't just hit, they broke through some of the world's top-tier defense systems, including David's Sling and Patriot batteries. Even heavily fortified US bases in the region weren't spared. Aftermath footage showed destroyed launch sites, disabled radars, and clean, precise strikes that left experts stunned. Reports say missiles like Hypersonic, Desful, and Qayyum were used, all equipped with satellite guidance, EW resistance, and deadly accuracy. But this wasn't just about showing off. It was a message. Iran doesn't just build missiles, it knows how to use them. The operation shook military analysts. And for the first time, the myth of impenetrable Western defense started to crack. In today's battlefield, Iran's missile arsenal is not for show. It's operational, battle-tested, effective. And then came the biggest shock. The suspected use of Fattah, Iran's hypersonic missile. With speeds over Mach 13, maneuvering mid-air, and dodging radar, Fattah is nearly impossible to intercept. Experts believe this explains why even advanced systems like THAAD and Patriot failed to react in time. Fattah isn't just fast, it's smart. It can change flight paths, switch targets, and outsmart radar in real time. If confirmed, Iran would be one of the first countries ever to use a hypersonic missile in real combat, a major milestone in modern warfare. Iran's missile program isn't just a list of names and numbers, it's a message. A message that says, we build, we adapt, we strike, and we're ready. From short range to hypersonic, from underground silos to mobile launchers, this force is no longer symbolic. It's real. It's tested. And the world is watching.